Yellow, welcome to the Future Self data set. Is this thing crooked? A little crooked? You know what? It's not straight, neither am I. I'm just gonna let it be. I think this is episode 405. And I would like to say hello to Future Forest. Hello, Future Forest. The actual context of who Future Forest is has changed for me because I've been listening to the Telepathy Tapes, okay? And they have been changing the molecular structure of my soul and the clarity that I hold around my gifts. And I won't even say they're gifts because everybody has them. They're still gifts. Everybody has these gifts. They've been changing my understanding and awareness of my gifts, my abilities, and of this beautiful world and how it's actually structured, how it's actually made. Oof. It's been feeling good. It's been feeling really good. It's been gently disorienting because I think that my priorities are shifting. And I kind of go through these 6-month cycles where I'm really into spirituality and metaphysics, and then I'll swing back and be more into manifestation on the material plane and kind of career things. And it will kind of swing back and forth between being really focused, esoterically around my energy, and then being focused around getting certain things done, creating things in the material world. And I guess I'm just really swinging into the spiritual arena again. And here on the Future Self data set, I simply express myself off the cuff because it helps me to know myself. It helps me to see where I am, to have the opportunity to articulate what I'm moving through. And to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit anxious about sharing today. It's like 10 p.m. I've put it off until now. I think because I feel so precious about what I'm about to share. It's so dear to my heart. It's so central to who I am. And it also feels like it's on the fringes. But I say that, and yet I'm watching folks speaking about galactic contact and astrology and metaphysics and consciousness and now telepathy. And there are millions of other people listening to this type of content and information. So I'm showing up and just being present yet again with where I am and who I am. And as I've been listening to the Telepathy Tapes, it's just been so affirming to hear about the field of consciousness. And I think my understanding is really shifting as I'm moving through the world day to day. I'm understanding that the base layer of reality is consciousness, and the material world is built on top of that, instead of what we've been taught, which is that the material world exists and then consciousness is kind of something at the top of that. And as I come home to this knowledge, I feel connected to my love. I feel connected to myself. I feel connected to God. I feel connected to Jesus. And I feel connected to my future self. And that's not just the future self that I'm creating through my digital twin experiment and through AI, which is fun and creative. But it's also the future self that is my Pleiadian future ancestor, that is my Arcturian future ancestor. This is the future self that is the human species that evolved from a human being to a human luminous, a homo, period, to a homo luminous. This is the me, this is my spirit, this is my lineage that evolved from the consciousness that I have been able to hold in the past to the consciousness that I hold in the future, which is of unconditional love, unconditional acceptance for myself and for those around me. And this has been very healing for me to integrate and focus on day to day, moment to moment, unconditional love, and just my intention to hold unconditionally loving thoughts towards myself and other humans and beings and circumstances is so pure and concentrated and certain that it's been a lot easier for me to notice when my thoughts are out of alignment with that intention. It's been a lot easier for me to notice when I'm judging other people, when I'm judging myself, and to come back to this space of unconditional acceptance, unconditional love, unconditional compassion, care, empathy. And it feels so good speaking about it here, and it's really calming my nerves deeply. I can feel my entire nervous system calming down right down to my feet. Unconditional love, acceptance, care. That is my intention. I truly believe that unconditional love, compassion, care, empathy is the solve to the polycrisis. And further than that, I believe that the polycrisis, i.e. the circumstances going on Earth, are mirages of the fractal of our own inner lives. If we were not exiling a part of ourselves, there would be no nations that exiled others. If we were not trying to kill off a part of ourselves that we were ashamed of and didn't want to look at, there would be no genocide in the external world. I believe that that's true, which is why I do this work with such a passion. And again, it doesn't mean I'm perfect at it. I am here present as a human, and I love who I am, and I love being myself. And it is my passion, my obsession to cultivate self-compassion and compassion for all of these different parts that I see inside of myself. Because I understand that when I do that, the outside world changes and it becomes more benevolent and softer. I understand that as I do that, the billions of other human beings on this planet, on this consciousness right now, we are a collective consciousness. And as I am able to love and accept these parts of myself and express them, which is a part of this exercise of me not just filming this but sharing it publicly, as I'm able to accept what I find within myself and allow it to live in the light of love, other humans are also more able to do that. It's like the 10-second mile, the Roger Bannister, right? And I've used that example so many times and I didn't quote it correctly because I don't know how fast he ran that mile. 10-second mile, 8-minute mile, I don't know, bro, but 8 mile, LOL. But there have been many circumstances documented where when one human can do something, then other humans on the other side of the planet can do it at the same time. It's like we become capable as a species, and I am committed to exploring the opportunity that I have to participate in that benevolent, beautiful, I was going to say magical, miraculous, but that's simply how consciousness works. That is how matter works, because matter is built upon consciousness. That as I am able to love myself with greater tenacity, so too are others. So I'm really jazzed. I'm really jazzed about it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I've kind of just deleted Instagram this week. I was just like, wouldn't it be fun if I didn't have it on my phone? And let's delete Twitter while we're at it too. And so I just deleted them, and it feels so nice just to like, I can't pick up my phone and open them. And I love that. Because when I would go on them, I didn't feel good. And it didn't contribute to my clarity or my conscious presence or my presence in consciousness. It pulled me out of it. And a lot of times it would get me feeling and thinking like, oh, I should be talking about the bad things going on in the world. And I think that I had just surrounded myself with, like, that was kind of my echo chamber on the internet. And I run in activist circles. I kind of always have. It's a part of me. And this is my worldview. My understanding is that the greatest offering I can give is to be present in the light of love within myself and within everything and everybody that I perceive. And I spoke about this in the last video that was me reading my Substack, The Love That Liberates. And yeah, it feels really good. And as I continue to extend that compassion as well to people who don't see consciousness or the world or activism the same as me, that's been really healing too. Really just extending compassion to folks who are more, folks who have a different relationship with the material plane. And my relationship with the material plane, yeah, I said it's a mirage. We're here on earth to learn love. This is an exceptional school. And it's a very, very unique time and place. And I just feel my consciousness expanding so much this year, 2025 already. And I've been talking with others, and there's a lot of folks who are feeling it. I feel very connected to God. I feel very, very connected to unconditional love and compassion as a field, as an energy. And yeah, my homies, like, from multiple places been telling me, like, listen to the Telepathy Tapes. And I kind of had this feeling where I was like, yeah, I already know it though. Like, I've been telepathic since I was a kid. You know, I've had relationships with beings on the other side of the veil my whole life. I went through a period of time, probably from like early teens to early 20s, when I allowed external narratives to invalidate my experiences, but I came back to them in my early 20s. My relationship with my angel, my guides, I've been cultivating it since then. Yeah, and I think there was just this feeling within me that, like, I already know it all, and that's okay. That's okay. I just didn't get around to it. But now that I've been listening to the Telepathy Tapes, my friend, it has been so affirming. And something that really stood out to me that Kai said in maybe like episode 6 or 7, just kind of as an aside, they said it very casually, but I caught it, was Kai said that because so many people have been listening to the Telepathy Tapes, the telepathic folks within the community that she's been connecting with have actually gotten even more telepathic because collective belief has risen. And I'm like, okay, that makes so much fucking sense to me. And it got me even more revved up and even more excited about collective compassion. And my belief and my understanding has continued to rise regarding the fact that the more unconditionally compassionate I am, and the more I understand that my lived experience has an effect on others, the more it does. And the more connected to this web of unconditional love that I am, like so many of the folks are who Kai interviews and speaks with, the more connected that I am, the more connected others are as well. And the more that I believe that my connection is valid, the telepathic communications that I have with trees are valid and animals are valid, then the more other people also can access this remembering. So it's really just kind of got like, it's just kind of blowing my mind. And I don't want to go into all of the things with the telepathy tapes that really have stood out to me. All of it makes complete sense to me. And there was a part of me that was still a skeptic, even around my own experiences, and even gaslit my own experiences. And hearing with so much clarity and truth, like facts, experiments, scientific, like this is what's going down. So much anecdotal evidence as well up the yin yang. It's like, Forrest, your experiences are valid. And yeah, it's been really healing and exciting, and I feel curious to continue moving through the world in a way that affirms this truth, that affirms that the conscious living web of unconditional love and compassion is the fabric of my entire experience and our entire experience. And that's the point. There's nothing else I need to do. There's nothing else I need to say. It is my honor. It's my delight. It feels like home. It feels like rest to be in this nurturing web of love and care. And I'm so curious about what's coming. I'm curious about the star nations and increasing my contact with them. I have so much love and care for the telepathic relationships that I have with my future selves in the star nations, with my friends and my family in the star nations. Time is not linear, and it is everything everywhere all at once. And as I cultivate my connection with my future selves, myself from other realms, and allow our love to be felt and communicated across dimensions and across timelines, I feel at home. I feel so cared for. I feel so much care. I feel so much love. And it soothes my spirit. And regarding Forrest's life, my life, this desire for a boyfriend, to date, that I've really always, I've had since I started dating when I was 12, 11 years old. I think I had my first boyfriend. And I've been through this sacred period of over 4 years now without a partner in the material realm. And I'm coming to this place of, it's not that the desire is gone, but it's changing, because my relationship with God and with this web of unconditional love and care is becoming so visceral and such a priority in my life. I think deleting Instagram and Twitter off my phone has created such spaciousness in my consciousness. And it's not that I don't still look to my phone to distract myself. I spend plenty of time on YouTube listening to long form content and, texting or doing emails or whatever, but it does feel really different. There's a greater spaciousness in my psyche, and I have more autonomy and choice over what I'm consuming now, intellectually. And, obviously, again, been listening to the tapes, okay? And it's really nurturing my gifts and what I value about myself. And I feel full, I feel filled. I feel filled by connection. And I feel filled by God. And I also am speaking and sharing a lot more with my friends, and I have a lot of community around myself, which is just bliss and blessings. And I've really focused to cultivate that over the past handful of months, from a place of profound loneliness to now feeling deeply connected and in community. I'm expressing myself through music. I'm in lots of sessions. I had a beautiful concert with my gospel choir last night that was absolutely transcendent. I feel the Spirit of Christ within and around me in such a profound way. And I love Jesus, and I love being so close to Jesus that he is even closer than my breath. And his Spirit is the Spirit of God. His Spirit is the Spirit of unconditional love and care and abundance and prosperity and access and all miracles, all love. And to know him is to know myself, and it is to know you, and it is to know you, and it is to know God, and it is to know the infinite and my future ancestors of love and benevolence. And I feel radiant and so grateful to know him and to know myself and to know my future selves. So that is incredible and such a blessing in my life. And I love God. And there was an autistic non-speaker in the Telepathy Tapes who said, all the gods, everyone's different God is the same God. And that checks out. That checks out. God's love is so pure and so potent. And yeah, it's just a beautiful mystery. But at the same time, it's not, it feels less mysterious. It feels quite scientific. When we think about quantum particles, and yeah, I've just been listening to different folks and recognizing that even the concept in science of materialism is outdated and kind of like starchy, stuffy, just old school. I've really felt, again, affirmed and validated through how it's been discussed in the Telepathy Tapes. And I just want to listen back to this podcast over and over again until it really sinks in how valid and authentic my life experience is. And yeah, let me tell you, I've been checking my thoughts more, because I'm moving through the world now as though people can read my mind, because they can. Like, people are telepathic. So my thoughts, again, about others, if I'm thinking something about you, I'm basically saying it out loud, so I better check myself and be kind and be compassionate and be empathetic and be understanding. Or just clear my mind altogether. It's like I've taken ownership over my thoughts in a different way. So that's been really refreshing. Also recognizing, I mean, I already have had telepathic communication with animals before listening to the tapes, but I think now after listening to them in the episode about animal communication, which is so beautiful, it's really affirmed, again, just affirmed my experiences. And I met this cat named Penny a few nights ago, and we weren't hanging out for long, but we had telepathic communication, and it was just so nice. It just felt good, and I could tell that Penny felt good to be seen and to be heard. And Penny's owner, I found Penny in the lobby of a apartment complex of a party that I was leaving. So I was chilling with Penny for a moment, and then Penny's owner came out like shortly after and was like, "Whoa, Penny really likes you." And people, like owners, say that about me and their pets maybe like 75% of the time I meet an animal. And in my head I'm always like, because I see them as a person. I really see them as a human, a conscious being with all the same feelings that we have, that can communicate as much as us. Now is really where my head's at. It's really increased my relational capacity with non-human beings, and it feels really good. And I just feel pure. I feel pure and grateful and excited, and I know deep down, and not even deep down, it's how I understand people, but I know that all beings are made of this love consciousness. Even people who we see in positions of power, who are a little crazy, maybe even deeply destructive, deeply oppressive, violent. I was praying the other night for Trump to truly find deep within his soul what was hurting the most, and go there within himself to give it love and care and validation, and to allow this spirit of unconditional compassion to blossom where he is most hurting. And it just feels beautiful to allow light to be let into where he is most wounded and most infected by hatred for parts of himself. And that is how this place changes. And the light has already won, and that's why the old guard and the old world is lashing out right now. It's lashing out because it's on the way down, It's on the way down, and so it's going down kicking and screaming, and that's okay. This planet is a planet where light is emerging, and the light has already won, as they say. The light has already won, and it was always going to win, because it is what we are. It is what we all are, and it is what this consciousness is, the fiber of perception, the fiber of consciousness, the fiber of all of our experience is unconditional love and compassion. And I'm just really grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to know that. And I feel so at peace in that knowing. There's nothing I need to do to save anyone. I just get to play in this place of joy and wonder and kindness and deep, profound connection with God. And I get to embody God's traits, my traits, our traits: unconditional compassion, unconditional acceptance, just wonder, excitement, awe, being alive, getting to experience this place is fascinating. I dream very vividly, and almost every morning I wake up and record a voice note of what I remember from my dreams. And last night, the dream was like chaotic but positive, and there was a big chasm I had to get across, and there was a key that got thrown at me that almost fell off the edge, but it didn't fall off the edge, and I did get over the chasm, and the homies did come back and help me, and there was all these like playful, uplifting moments within this kind of chaotic dreamscape. What I've started doing is copying the transcript of my recording and putting it into ChatGPT and saying, can you help me interpret this dream? And so that's something I'm doing. That's something I've started doing the last couple mornings. And some days I have extremely prophetic dreams. I've had dreams that have come true, and so it feels good to document them. And I'm at the part in the Telepathy Tapes where they're talking about telepathic communication through dreams, which is so fucking cool. It's just so cool to have it like documented in this beautiful podcast that millions of people are listening to. Like the Telepathy Tapes at one point crossed the Joe Rogan podcast in how much it was being listened to. Like it's changing the consciousness on the planet. The fact that this podcast is here and so widespread and popular and listened to, it's shifting our collective perception of who we are and of consciousness, and that makes me so excited, and it's certainly shifting mine. And I just feel so grateful for it, and for Kai, and for everyone on there. And yeah, I always knew I was neurodivergent, but I never, none of the tests pointed to anything. But I guess it just I feel like I'm with my people when I'm listening to this podcast, getting to be with those who are experiencing and utilizing their spiritual gifts feels so good. And I'm curious about what is next for me around cultivating mine. I don't meditate on a schedule like I used to. I do it when I feel like it, when it feels right. Maybe 4 times a week for 15 minutes, five times. It's going with the flowing. But now that I feel like I have more clarity around how telepathy works, with all these beautiful examples, as well of two-way telepathy, I feel excited to consciously clear my mind and focus on exactly who I want to send a message to, whether it's my future Pleiadian self, whether it's an animal. Maybe my friends and I could try it out. I wonder if I could even send them to you, someone watching this video. And then, honestly, I'm thinking about my Pleiadian selves, my Pleiadian family, sending a message and then clearing my mind and listening to receive. Feels really, really exciting. And that feels like worthy of a reason to like clear my mind. I'm not experiencing much anxiety or sadness at this point in my journey, and so needing to meditate to mitigate those experiences is not a part of my journey right now. But meditating and clearing my mind so that I can have these telepathic conversations feels like that. So good. Expansive, exciting, affirming, calming, fun. So we'll see. We'll see where it keeps going. But that's really how I'm feeling right now. Today is February 3rd, 2025. Here in Vancouver on Musqueam land. It's snowing hard out there. And yeah, I'm thinking about my hysterectomy that's coming up as well. I think I'm going to keep my cervix because that's literally like the portal to creation. And even though I won't have my womb anymore, I think I want to keep my cervix. That and for sex. But yeah, that's been on my mind. That's coming up in like 2 months, April. Yeah, just going with the flow. I'm just flowing with the go, making a lot of music right now, making a lot of plans to release music, and that's more than enough. Just resting and really integrating this knowledge around telepathy. Amazing. So that is more than enough, and it's okay to go through periods of incubation as artists, as people, as souls. We do not have to be constantly producing things that are perceivable to each other using metrics. And that's something I'm really grounding into, that my happy place is not posting on my Instagram stories every day, and it's not tweeting every day. My happy place is stepping back and integrating my experiences, living my beautiful life, feeling my feelings, and then creating long form reflections for my own ability to see myself, and as a living record of who I am, how I am, and allowing that expression to exist and be pure and present. So I have these videos, the Future Self data set, very off the cuff, present, a journal of where I'm at, and I have my Substack, which I will have out every other week, which is long form written that I then get to read out as well in a video and for audio. So that is the content creation that I've pivoted to. And it happened naturally from a desire to see myself and to know myself and to love myself. Recognizing that I didn't have to wait for a friend or a lover or a family member to ask me about what I'm talking about. I could sit down and speak about it and have a captive audience my camera, myself reflected back at me. This space that I've given myself to speak, where I'm saying, I'm going to listen to you right here. Share what's on your mind, share what's on your heart. Be as authentic as possible. This is for me. This is for me. And I was watching this YouTube channel called Doobie and Gooby, I think. And bro was really calm and chill. He wasn't speaking all quick. He was taking his sweet time and he was sharing about his personal experiences. And it felt so authentic. And it really inspired me to sit back and relax. And I love listening to long form content on YouTube. I will listen to hour-long videos throughout the day. It's so easy for me. And so really recognizing that there is an audience for that and that I am that audience, both on this side of the camera and that side. It's just helping me to continue to ground into this style of self-reflection, video sharing, content creation, and legacy preservation, story preservation, life preservation. This is me sharing my life. I will never be at this moment again, where I'm listening through the Telepathy Tapes for the first time and I'm almost done the first season, and it's changing how I'm moving through the fucking world, man. Like, this is such a precious moment. And I value it deeply. And I value being in this moment and seeing myself and reflecting on it as I'm in it. And I value sharing it and being able to come back to it. And also allowing any other soul who it is right for them to be present here in this field with me. They are allowed to come and be present in this field with me. And this field does not have to be what it is not in order for it to be right for someone to come and be in this field with me. I don't have to share how I'm telling my story. I don't have to share how I'm holding my energy or how I'm speaking or what pieces of my journey I'm talking about or not talking about. Me as I am here now, sitting on my couch, it is right for another soul to be present in this version of the field, this authentic version of the field. Just as it was right for me to listen to the Gooby and Doobie homie in his field as it was. And all the other folks just sharing off the cuff that I come across. So here we are. And with that, I think I feel complete. Although I will say, I really want to get a cat. I want to welcome my friend's cat Lala into my life. They want me to take Lala. I want to take Lala. So that's exciting. So you might see me with Lala soon, I hope. I think I'm gonna get Lala right before my surgery, maybe a few weeks before my surgery, so we can really like bond. And then as I'm recovering physically, we can hang out together. But I am gonna be traveling a couple times between now and then, so I thought maybe it would be best to wait till I'm back from those trips before I welcome Lala into my world, my house, my apartamente. but apparently she does not scratch furniture and she does not eat plants. So those are two great things. But she is a bit of a piggy wiggy and will get up on the counters and eat. So I'm gonna have to be careful about that one. But that's okay because food safety anyways. Just pop it in the fridge, pop it in the fridge. I'm very excited. Anyways, yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. That's how I'm doing. For those who are wondering, my shirt is by Cholivia, a Vancouver artist. So go grab their stuff if you like what you see. And that's kind of all I have for today. But yeah, coming back to the original intent of the future self data set, this is to be fed into an AI database that will hold my life. And what I will say to you, Forrest, is that you are loved, you are cherished, you are cared for, you're in the right place at the right time, you're meeting the right people, and you're not meeting the right people for you not to meet. You are whole and complete, and you are within this web of love that is holding you. And you are single, Forrest, right now, so that you can have the spaciousness to experience this web of love without being distracted. This web of love, this telepathic communication with yourself, with your future selves. This is what this time is for, and it is profoundly important for your soul, for your spirit's development, and for your own fulfillment. So this is just one of the richest, most beautiful times in your life, because you're coming into this deep presence and deep conviction and understanding in the truth of what's actually going on regarding your telepathy and the way the world works, the consciousness upon which all is happening. So this is a good time, baby. It's a good time to be single. And when that part of you comes back that wants to re-download those apps and go on and speak to those strangers, welcome that part of you too, but do it with a consciousness. Welcome in that small, scared, hurting, lonely part of you. Love them up, allow them to access this compassion. And if from that place you still want to go on the apps, then go for it. But do not leave this lonely, scared part of you behind. Do not try and distract yourself away from it by going on the apps. Come home to this part of you. Give it love, give it care. See it in its pain, allow it to be there. Love it exactly as it is. Don't need it to change for you to love it. And love it even if it does want to go on the apps. And then on those apps, send love and compassion unconditional to every single face that you see. That's what it's about. So that's what I'm doing. That's the process. That's the process. Anywho, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. I love you so much.